I'm Zach the Lost Man Daggy, and this is Midnight Spookshow, your online source for all the horror news, reviews, and interviews that you can scream at. And for this edition of Midnight Spookshow, it is a review of the last installment of the Saw franchise, Saw, the Final Chapter, or Saw 3D, depending on which poster you're looking at. So, this installment in the series is directed by Kevin Reutert. He was actually the guy who directed Saw number 6. It stars Sean Patrick Flanery. He was in the Boondock Saints, as well as the Dead Zone TV series. Returning as part of the core cast is Tobin Bell, who of course plays Jigsaw, and also he was in Boogeyman 2. Also returning is Betsy Russell. You have seen her in Amore, as well, and also in the film is Costas Mandylor of Paycheck, and also returning to the series is Cary Elwes of Princess Bride. Now, the last we saw him was in the very first Saw film, and when I first heard that he was returning to the last installment, I thought that was an incredibly awesome idea, because then the story could come full circle back to where it started. So the official description of Saw the Final Chapter is: as a deadly battle rages over Jigsaw's brutal legacy, a group of Jigsaw survivors gather to seek the support of a self-help guru and fellow survivor, Bobby Deegan, a man whose own dark secrets unleash a new wave of terror. So here's the deal. The original Saw film was spectacular. It really was an incredibly original horror film, and really well acted, really well done, amazing, can't recommend it enough film. The second one was very good, but not as good as the original. Third, okay, not as good as the second. Fourth, not as good as the third, and it's been downhill ever since. This, the seventh film in the franchise, the last one, continues that. It is the worst one in the entire series. Honestly, to put it bluntly, it is a shitstorm. The games / torture experiments, whatever, are still incredibly uncomfortable to watch. The problem is that it's getting to the point now where it feels like I've seen this all before. The games or torture devices are somewhat different, but they all are starting to feel a lot alike. And it makes for a film that's not incredibly exciting. It was exciting the first time around, and some of the subsequent sequels were exciting. By this, the final film, it just feels done. And really, the franchise should have wrapped up probably a couple films ago. The ending to this thing in particular is what really didn't work for me. It felt rushed and contrived. Perhaps if they had slowed down the ending a bit, it could have worked, but honestly, the ending is against the characters. It doesn't make sense logically. If you've seen the ending, you know what I'm talking about. So, I don't know. That didn't work. It was great. Like I said, seeing Cary Elwes return to the franchise, to see him one more time before it wrapped up. But it wasn't enough to make this film good. I honestly do think it was the worst in the series. But that said, I will have one final thought, and that is that Saw as a franchise is going to have staying power. Just like Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Friday the 13th, you know, there were duds in the series. That's fun. They just happened to get worse as it went along. But I think 20 years from now, horror fans are still going to be looking back at the Saw franchise and buying the box sets and all that. So, in that regard, I think that the Saw franchise is worth watching. It is going to go down in horror history. So, like I said, go into this knowing that it's the worst in the series, and you may end up enjoying it. Maybe. In other words, have low expectations. So, that's my review on Saw the Final Chapter. I've got the trailer up at Spookshow.tv, as well as a link to purchase it if you feel like completing your collection. And until next time, I am your friendly new media moss man advising you on watching great horror films. Be sure to turn it up and turn out the lights. Cheers.